Hey everyone, we're back with another session of Build Along with Noodle with the LearnBook project. So we left off last time having woefully created not very much compared to what I wanted to have created. So let's try to go a little bit faster, a little less blah blah. It's late at night. Let's really get some good work done. And so we're gonna take this workflow between, as we talked about last time. We're going to focus on creating a new lesson from the create from scratch card, going over to, so we have step one. Let's itemize, let's line out the steps first, because I actually need to know what percentages we should be putting in our super duper percentage bar at the top. So step one is choose your course, choose your type of creation. Step two is choose a name. That's step two as well. Step 3 is choose learners. Step 4 is personalize the lesson. So there's actually 4 steps. Yeah, so we're going to do 25% on each step. 25% on each step. So this has to be, oh, it was already 25. Well, there you go. I just had it all figured out, didn't I? So we've got our component stack set up. Now what we don't have is something to push from the component stack to the next component stack. So I learned this lesson last time, did I not? That you can't have something coming out of a component stack. There's no outputs. What there are component objects. So I'll already put a parent component object here and say up. So step 1 clicked is when the repeater item button is clicked, that goes to an output. If I could type, that would help. And clicking the button goes to an output called button clicked. It's just a simple output. We don't need to name it something that is memorable. That component output hits here. Button clicked goes to step 1 clicked. And then we need to have some way of saying what the type of card it is. So like which step it should go to. So we should probably have some sort of type here as well as all the title text and stuff like that. And a type that's memorable, like a variable. So we're going to say that the type of this one is, type of this one is from scratch. So I'll remember that. And the type of this one is, you just have to think about what will I remember personally, because sometimes it's very personal. This one's type will be existing lesson. Or we should say from existing lesson, because then it's from scratch from existing lesson. Or even from existing would be fine. I'll remember that. From scratch from existing. So when the button is clicked, we need to output the type to show what was just clicked. So we're going to output that here, type clicked, and we're going to bring the type over here, type and type clicked, and then, oh, maybe you can't see very well, it's not very good, is it? Let's collapse this in a bit. That's better, look at that big canvas. So type clicked, so that's step 1, type clicked, and so like there I put more detail, step 1 type clicked. I want the component object up at the top here to have as much info as possible so I can manage that the best I can. So we said it was step 1 clicked, and we can actually check it to see. Oh no, we can't because I haven't set it. So let's just do step 1 type clicked and assume that that's probably right. Good. Okay, because that type clicked is going to say, it's going to determine where we branch our logic here next. So create a new lesson is going to go to step 2, visual component. Oh, maybe I should copy this one. I know duplicating is not always the best, but yeah, let's do that. Duplicate, and we'll make this step 2. Name. And this is going to be here. So step 1 create as the default, step 1 create as there, step 2 name goes, nail. Name goes into our component stack. Name. Cool. Yep. So if step 1 is clicked, then we're going to push component to stack. It's going to be in the create lesson flow stack. It's going to be a replace, and it's going to target step 2. So this is step 1. Step 1, and then we'll do the same thing for step 2, and we'll have another one for step 3, and blah 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 blah. Oh no, sorry, I made a mistake. This is step 1. So if we need to go back to step 1, we're going to use that one. So if step 1 is clicked and hold on, expression maybe, yeah, expression. So step 1 is clicked and the type, because we only have 2, we can just do this. Type is equal to from scratch. So if we say when step 1 is clicked, we run it, and step 1 type clicked is type, then if it is from scratch, we push to step 2. If it's not from scratch, we need to, if false, push to the choose an existing lesson step, which we don't have yet. So I'm just putting a little note in. I like to put them in blue when I have stuff to do. Blue, there we go. I don't even name this because it's pretty obvious from the code what it means. So there'll be a way to go back to step 1, just need to figure out what it is. And maybe put these on the other side. This, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So that's good. That looks good. That looks good. Yeah. What did the designer put in for going back from step 1 to step 2? Is this probably this return button at the top, right? I'm not sure because we had the return button at this first step here, which maybe means that that would return us back to the course selection page. So let's just assume that return means to go back, because then yeah, there's return and next. So I reckon return was designed to be go back. So that's going to be a little bit complicated because we have the left container here, and so that button is going to go in there like a group. We're going to put a group in there, and it's going to be a fixed position group. Oh no, an absolute position group. I don't want it to be fixed. Yeah, it should be absolute. And then it's going to be a horizontal layout, and we're going to put in a text which is going to say go back, and an icon. It's going to be a little left arrow. Why am I not seeing the left arrow? Is there no left arrow? What? No, that can't be right. That can't be right. There it is. Arrow back. Ah, back, not left. Ooh. Google, you are funny. I could do a long one. Okay, and that's going to be white, and it's going to be, okay, dizzy again. It is a 19 by, so we'll make it 20 by 20. And go back is going to be white text, 16 with a heavier font weight. 16 with a heavier font weight, body medium, label medium, probably that one. All right, now we need to find out where the heck it is. Oh yeah, of course we need to make it maybe a higher Z index to get it on top of this. Yes. Does that look right? Go back. Yeah, with a gap. What's the gap? 20. And what's the dimensions there? It's 36 from the top and 40. Let's say 40, 40 to make it nice and even. So it's 40 and 40. And that probably won't work when it gets small, but we're going to have to do something about that anyway. We could make it a percentage value on the left. We could say that this is, 10% or something like that. And the wider it gets, oh no, it didn't work. Because you never changes the percentage and you keep having to go back to do it again. There we go. So yeah, the wider it gets, the further it goes away. That's okay, it looks pretty nice. So like down to quite a small size, and then we'll make that mobile responsive at some point. Yeah. Okay, there's nothing else to do there, huh? Just go back. Okay. So go back clicked. Where's that gonna go? Because can we even do a component input there? You know what I might do instead of doing component inputs for that? Because I don't want to put my component object at this level. I want to have the component object at the level of the component stack. I don't want it to be up here. So what I'm going to rather do is send an event. This is a workflow step that just fires an event somewhere in the app, and you define where the receiving point is, and you don't need any noodles. You just do a channel, and it fires an event to that channel. And wherever it's received, it'll deploy where it's received. You can send it to children only, or parents only, siblings only, or just globally. In this case, I will send it probably globally because I'm worried that the page router is not going to consider itself as a child element. But maybe it does. Maybe somebody can correct me. No problem. I'm very happy to be corrected. So this is lesson. It's a global thing, so I'm going to name it something quite explicit. Lesson. Create go back. So if we click this, it sends that message, and I'll show you what that does on the other side. So there we go. So this is the go back button, and the go back button needs to have a cursor pointer. So you see the pointer on it, that's good. Oh, hang on, how big is that group? Oh geez, should be that, and give it a little bit of padding on the inside. So you can, yeah, that's good. Nice, so that's a bit more reasonably sized, isn't it? No, I don't like that. Sorry, no padding. No left or right padding. Okay. So send event has been clicked. Send event, that thing has been clicked. So if you receive that event, so we enable it, we consume it. Consume means when it arrives, it uses it up in this instance and doesn't cascade and try to find other places where there's a receive event with the same channel. So in this case, we don't want it to, there's nothing else for it to go to, but just in case we want it to stop here. When it gets here, that's the place it's received and it stops sending. So then what we need is here, we actually need to know what step we're currently on. So we need a variable and no, or do we need a state? A variable or a state. So if the event is received and we're at step 2, it needs to go back to step 1. So we need something that evaluates I am at step 2, so I'm going to fire out to step 1. I don't think a state is going to do that very well. No, don't like it. We receive the event, we need to know what step we're currently on. Well, that could be a state, possibly. Yeah, no, okay. Sorry, never mind. That could be a state. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and that's all. So if step 1 is clicked and step 1 type is clicked and it goes to from scratch, then on true is going to send us to step 2. Afterwards, we're going to have step 2a, step 2b, and all that stuff for like selecting an existing lesson. But right now we just have this. So if it's at step 2 and you receive the event, then it should send it back to step 1. Yeah. So we want to take the actual name of the step and put it through some sort of condition. Maybe a switch. So case step 1 outputs there is no output for step 1. We can't go back. Oh yeah, no, it would be outputs back to dashboard. I think this sounds like a good idea. It feels like a good idea. It's a good sign, right? Case step 2. So if it's step 2, the outputs for this is going to be back to step 1. Break. If it's step 3, then the outputs are going to be back to step 2. Break. And if it's step 4, outputs are going to be back to step 3. Break. That looks nice. So what we do is feed in the current state in here, and then when we're on receiving our event, we run to see what current step we're at, which by default is step 1. Yeah, so step 1 is going to be on page load, and then it's going to change to step 2. It's going to do current step. It's going to, so then it's going to say if I'm on step back to step 1, we'll navigate to step 1, and back to step 1, we'll also change our state to step 1 in case then they click back again, then the state has switched to step 1 and it'll evaluate to back to dashboard in the next evaluation. That sort of seems to make sense to me. So every time we click go back, it's always going to fire this function, go back a step function, that will change the current step state and will either push a new component or will navigate back to let's say our main one for the moment. It's going to go back to dashboard. So that's if it's go back to dashboard is navigate back to dashboard. There we go. Nice. What the heck? Oh no. No. Saved. So only run that. It was doing it every time because I connected it up to the wrong input. So we need to have it connected to the run port, or else every time that current step fires, it's going to fire the function because something changes, and so the function goes, oh, it changed, I'll do my job. But if the run is connected, then it's not going to fire until this is triggered. So if we go, let's go. Oh, no, it didn't work. Step 1 clicked. No, just like that. Hold on a second. Component object. Step 1 clicked was false. Let's go into that. So it does output to that. Step 1 clicked. So why does that not come up here? I thought the component objects could send signals as well. That's a shame. Just try exiting and entering and exiting and restarting just in case. Try the changed signal maybe. Could be. Could that work? Nearly. The type's not going in either. Very strange and sad. I can see step 1 type clicked, but nothing coming out. That's not right. Have I done a spelling mistake or something? To copy this. What am I doing wrong? So there I've got step 1 type clicked from scratch, goes to step 1 type clicked. Step 1 type clicked is from scratch. Do I need to do set maybe? Yeah, maybe. No. Step 1 type clicked is a string, so that is this. when I click that, it does set it, and when it is done, then it no, it doesn't do anything. Cool. Will that be better? Step 1, type clicked undefined. What have I done? There's step 1 click true this time. I'm very confused. Let's go back to what we had before. Okay. So it's looking in the right place, lesson, create lesson, and it's sending the right data. But it's not outputting it. I feel like this is just an editor issue. I'm going to close the editor and reopen it because that's really weird. There might be some really obvious thing it's staring me in the face, but I really can't think of it right now. No. Just doesn't like it. Otherwise, is there any way to do an output from here? Can I do outputs from the components themselves? Isn't there a way to do that? Nope. There was a way to do it though. Hold on. I did it in another app. Let's go and have a look. There was another app where I had a pop-up. It was incredibly complicated. And in there, yeah, you can have inputs but not outputs. That's what it was. Component stacks can have inputs. You can actually input things into the component stack when you're pushing, but it doesn't have an output. Don't really want to use send events everywhere though. I guess I could. For now, I'm disappointed about this because this really should have worked. There's no reason this shouldn't work. Yeah, this is just me going crazy. I'm thinking, why am I seeing from existing here? Because it's the second option. But it's because, of course, we always see the last option in a repeater when we're looking at the element of the repeater itself. We always see the last cell of the repeater. That's the one that we're shown. So it's actually not this button being clicked. It's this one. Or is it that... Is it that when you click one of the buttons, you end up clicking all of the buttons? No. Just one. Is it a question of fetching? Nope. Just fetched it. Nothing happened. Well, that's... Is it because I put a dash in the name? Something silly like that. No. Oh. Are you joking? Was it literally because I put a dash in the name? Oh my goodness. Okay, that whole 10-minute section can be cut down to just one little tip, which is don't put hyphens in names, because apparently the component object doesn't like it. So forget about sentiments. I knew it would work. It had to work. Component objects always work. It is in the parent, so oh my goodness gracious me. There we are. So look at it go. So it navigated to step 2. Why did it go back to step 1? Step 2. Oh, because I made a copy of step 2. It did go to step 2. And if I go back? Yeah. And if I go back? Dashboard. It works. The stress. The stress. So hold on. Let's change step 2 so we can really see that working properly. So step 2 is very, very simple. It's a 50% progress. There's no array. There's no repeater. There is a parent group object, which is step 2. Oh god, I take all this away. Step 2 clicked. And it's gonna be new lesson. Choose a name for your lesson name. I guess this is probably a standard input as well. Do we already have those standard inputs? I think we do. Didn't we create something like a pretty input before? We created a pretty button and we created a standard input. Boom. Standard input is choose a name for your lesson. Choose a name for your lesson. The icon, we don't have an icon in this one actually, so we need to change that. Oh no, we have a show icon, don't we? Yeah. So enable icon is false. Placeholder lesson name, content type text, initial content, we don't have any yet. But we will have some at one point. So we have to keep in mind that there will at one point be an object in there that'll give us the current lesson, the current page lesson. Pass that down into a variable, and then the variable will be here that we put into the standard input to say edit this and use that as initial content. So that's the title is new lesson. And the button is, so the button is invisible here. And then there is a button. Oh, there is actually an icon there. Then there's a next button when it's filled in. Oh, and we actually could use a pretty button there, couldn't we? Our pretty button. Why did we use a pretty button again? No, forget. Oh, because there's an icon attached to it. Oh yeah, don't forget to add the object construction function. Okay. Oops. So let's go and do that. Where did I put that little icon thing? Here, convert icon to objects. Should probably make that a prefab, shouldn't I? Anyway. Yeah, we'll do it later. We'll do it later. Later. Lazy. Don't want that. Step 2. So, oh yeah, because it was supposed to be here. Button icon name. Oh no, hold on, because we need that to be a field, so it needs to be a string value. Because then on the outside of this component, we'll get something asking us to put in a string. Whereas if we connect it to the function directly, it doesn't really know what the function is expecting, so it doesn't give you any field. It just is like any value. So no, that's not what we're gonna do. We'll set that there, and then the value goes to the icon name, and then the icon name object goes to the icon source. Done. Okay. So let's do the pretty button, shall we? So button icon C. So this is what this is, right arrow forward, arrow underscore forward. Yeah. Arrow underscore forward. And the text is next. Let's have a look. Oh my. Oh yeah, no, yeah, the pretty button really was a pretty button, but no, that's not what we want. Just want a regular old button, please. Give me a nice LearnBook button with an icon, and the right icon is the right arrow, and that's perfect, and it's next already, so that's awesome, because I already used it once before. So main container is too big. Standard input is too tall. Why is the standard input so blinking tall? That would explain it. Explicit width and content height, yes. Gotta work with your prefabs. So this is gonna be invisible unless the name content is not empty. Text output, and then mounted. So it's not going to show unless I type in test group, and then it shows up. Nice. Choose a name for your lesson. That's all good. And that's looking, whoa, too long. Okay. All right. Let's say max width. It's gonna be, I don't know, 300 pixels. What is it here? 233 plus 220, so it's 450. 450. Okay, it's better. Okie. Nice. So choose a name for your next. Choose a name for your lesson next. If the button is clicked, then step 2 clicked is going to fire. Click, step 2 clicked. And when step 2 clicked is fired, then when step 2 clicked is fired, step 1 type. No. We've made a bit of a mess there, hold on. Step 1. So it's step 1 clicked and step 1 type clicked. Step 1 type clicked Yeah, no, it's already there. Step 1 clicked. And step 1 type clicked. Bingo. Disconnect all this crap. So this is step 1 type clicked. Type. Step 1 clicked is run. Step 2 clicked is not run. We'll just leave that alone. So step 2 clicked is going to go to step 3. Possibly also creating a lesson at the same time, I guess. Maybe at this point is the point where we actually create a lesson. Or no, we just create an object. We create an object. Forget about lessons. No, because then if you reset the page, you lose all your progress. Yeah, our choice is either when we type something in here and we click next, then do we create an object, so something that's just stored on the browser side that contains the information that the person wants to add, like the learners and the name and the parameters, or do we say no, it's actually already created at this point? Even if the person quits now, it's still going to be in their lessons called whatever this new lesson is. So the lesson name is like the no turning back point. And if you want to leave that behind, then you have to delete it. That way, that if you get to step 3 and then you refresh the page, it'll come back to the same lesson because I can put the lessons object ID up in the URL. So then that means that they can pick up from where they left off. So let's do that. So this is going to be called step 3. And step 3 is going to be yeah, I'll do another duplicate, why not, for time saving. And this is going to be called step 3 learners. Excuse me, it's been a long day. And step 3 learners is going to have an element called, oh no, just delete that one. I'm going to have an element under here called learner item. So probably use this more. Actually, no, forget about that. I'm probably going to make a learner picker and a group picker because this, come on, this is something I reckon that we're going to use multiple places. Choosing between a learner and a group at any sort of assignment moment, that's probably going to be pulled out. So I'm going to create that as a pill option thing with yeah, the ability to select groups over learners. Okay, yes. So if we click next, we get here, choose the learner and search. So it needs to be title, subtitle, search bar. Title, subtitle, search. Oh, we could actually use our standard input, couldn't we? And the label is, oh no, because it doesn't have a label. Well, can we delete the label and just have it with no label? Ah, no, let's just do a different input. It's too complicated. If I regret this later, I'll just modify the prefab and replace this text label field with something else. So that's going to be, we need probably a variant, style variant for that. Standard orange input. And it's going to have icon, left side search icon. Yeah, that's going to look nice. It's going to be a text field and we're going to call it search. Sounds good to me. Okay. And then there's going to be a button, is there? Okay, choose a learner. Okay, so it's either choose one learner or choose a group. Oh yes, because we had this theory that, yes, that was what it was. Oh man, okay, add a level of complexity again. Okay, if you are a teacher and you're teaching one learner on a one-on-one lesson, then the Adeline Adam group is a group of one. And so instead of, with old LearnBook, when we talked about having a group of one person, nobody understood it. For me, it was understandable from the developer's perspective. It's a group because it's a teacher and a learner. There's two people, therefore it's a group. But the teacher is the teacher. So they were looking at the group with the learner in it and thinking, but there's just one person, so it's not a group. It's not a group of people, you know. So what we thought we would do with this LearnBook is we'd say, okay, if you want to teach a one-on-one class, add the learner. Don't put them in a group, and we'll put them secretly in a group, but mark the group as a solo group. And then, so if it's a solo group, it appears in here in the learners list. So every single one of these learners is in like a solo group. And if we click on groups, then it shows us one where there's like 2 or more learners in the group. Then that's how we make that distinction. I'll probably put that in here actually. Yeah, so a group is going to have, so it's going to have a name. It's going to have something like solo group, something like that. So we can mark that it's a solo group, and then that puts it in the other list, and then we'll filter the list. Say solo group is yes, put it in that list. Solo group is no, put it in the other list. Okay. Which means we need to make a learner group picker. It's a bit tricky. So the step 2 button is clicked. It's going to go to step 3 learners. So it's not a, yeah, it's not a button. It's like you select your learner. Yeah, it is a button. Sorry, you select your learner. It tells you which learner you've picked. So there's a hidden group here called choose the learner. Okay, so that subtitle then has a learner next to it, and we can X the learner away if we want to take it away. So this does go out to step 3 clicked, but it's not going to show up until the learner is not empty. And that's probably going to be an object, I would think. Yeah, like selected group. Could be like a local variable, maybe. Or it goes to the parent component object, actually, and says selected group, because it's a group of one or a group of many. It's always going to be a group. So whatever comes out of our pill and goes into selected group, and then we say here, selected group is not empty, is not empty-ish. Selected group is sort of not empty. Then we show the button. Huh? Oh yeah, result mounted, it's already there. Cool. Now what we're missing is the selector itself. So we're going to do default global visual components, and it's going to be called a group picker. So the group picker needs to have, come on, needs to have 2 pills at the top. So it's going to be a repeater. Is this the kind? Yeah, this is, I talked about this before. This is actually something that we're going to use a lot. Did I not already make a pill thing for that? Pill selector, I did. So I don't need that. Pill selector. Can't remember what it does, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, so dashboard pills, my content pills array. Yeah, there it was. Okay. Filter default pill. Jeez, okay, I can't remember how that worked. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So is it dashboard pills? Group picker pills. When I guess the dashboard pills is gonna, oh, we can't fetch that. Yeah, we need to have that state kind of filter out and say no, don't use these items, use these items instead. And then hook up the component inputs to that state, and then choose the state that you want the pills to be in wherever you place them. Pill type, state, and then that means on the outside I've now got this nice little drop down, and I'm going to set group picker pills here. And we'll figure that out later. So group picker pills, and then the repeater will be here. And the template type is going to be, where did I put it? Oh, I didn't put it anywhere. Group item. Why do I sometimes do that snake case randomly, like group item? Unnecessary. Group item. Alright, the group item is pretty cool. It's just the name. Maybe with the groups we're going to end up having more than just the name. Do we have any examples of the group picker? Timelines. No, probably here. Yeah, there. There's a little group picker thingy there. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's got like a... Okay, anyway, so it's going to have the name of the group and the number of learners. So that was kind of something we could have expected, I guess. But actually, I'm not sure how many places that this group picker actually is used, so we might be creating this for nothing, but I guess it's never a bad thing to have these things in components anyway. Even if we don't reuse it, it's worse not to have it and then end up reusing it somewhere else and remaking it and thinking, oh no, I have this in 2 places and it looks different. I think it's cute the way that she's done the shadows here, so let's try to replicate that. So width is going to be text width with some sort of padding on the inside, 15 padding on the inside, 15 top and bottom. I would love to be able to set all of these at the same time. Such a pain. The background is white, the corner radius is 6. I'm getting tired. 6. And then the shadow. Oh no, it's borders, it's not shadows. So actually the bottom border is 3 pixels. So she gets that funky shadow effect. Very clever, madame. It's going to be our nice little LearnBook brown. And the bottom is going to be 3 pixels with our LearnBook brown. Okay, and then that repeater is going to be group item. And we want to show that under the pill selector, don't we? Yes. What kind of gap is there going to be? 20 between each item. So get that. Oh no, I think I remember that if you put them in a group and then make the group have 20 vertical gap, then it makes the things inside the repeater also have a 20 vertical gap, if I remember right, which I'm not sure I do. And then we need to do a query that gets the learners and then display them in the repeater, but we'll do that in 1 minute. Let's get the steps done first. So step 3, need to put it in our component stack. 3 learners. Step 3 learners. Step 3 learners. So this is our, yeah, so we can do the go back a step thing as well. And back to step 3. Hook them all up, why not? So that they stun. And then yeah, so when step 3 is clicked, step 2 is clicked, no, step 3 is clicked, then it goes to this, nope. Step 3 clicked. Huh? Oh. Step, yeah, obviously it's step 2 clicked. What am I even thinking about? Step 2 clicked, it goes to step 3. What was our title? Oh yes, so then the title becomes the lesson title. Here we go. Okay. Search, yeah, the subtitle was choose a learner or group to assign this course to. So we'll say assign this lesson to a learner or group. You can search and then you've got your pills. Where did my pills go? Oh yeah, of course. Group picker has to go here. Right. And group picker goes there. And then we have to have something in the repeater. So let's just for the moment put a static array. We don't need to put real data in here yet. And let's put in the kind of data that we're going to have in our learners. So it's going to be first name Richard, last name Osborne. That's probably all we need actually. I know because it's not learners, yeah, it's group name. What am I talking about? Group name. Richard Osborne. Group name. Jane Smith. Right. So we need that to be object from repeater, group name is the value, and then inside that group we need a text, and the text has to be fixed width, and the group name goes into the text. Hook it up. Ooh, that's big. It's theoretically what I wanted. That's good. The pill selector thing is too tall. Why is that? Oh yeah. Nice. And these cards are enormous, so not good. We need them to be, yeah, we need them to be content width and height. There we go. Look at that. Learner selection. Very nice. Put a little bit of gap in between them, maybe. Which of a gap I should put here? 30. Looking sharp. Okay. I think that's enough for today. I'm going to get to the next part of putting the pills in place properly and maybe getting a real query organized. But I think right now I'm just going to use dummy data. We're pencil sketching. I don't need to have real learners. I can have the group name appear, and whenever we create an array with Noodl, it automatically assigns unique IDs to every item that you've put in the array. So I can use these as dummy unique IDs and maybe even make a real array so that these unique IDs can be referenced somewhere. I don't know, I haven't decided that yet, but just keep going with dummy data as long as we can so that we don't have to change anything. Yeah, then we can go back. Oh, it didn't go back to the right place. Not cool. Nearly done, nearly escaped. Back to step 2. Yeah, step 1, step 2. Oh, silly. If step 2 is clicked, of course, it should go to step 3. And then that's step 2. Go back. Yeah. Nice. Obviously, it doesn't have the stuff in there anymore, but that's no big deal. Why? Oh, hold on. Back to, yeah, no, silly. Back to step 2 goes to step 2. And back to step 3 goes to step 3. Always need to keep that state up to date, or else it just will not work. Back, back, nice. Back, back, back. Awesome. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So this has been emotional, and I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully with a lot less stalling than